So no less than a week later, after this mysterious gold leaving HSBC vault to the tune of like around 6,000 ounces, the exact amount goes into JP Morgan's vault and then leaves. I'm talking about the Comex vaults. And it showed like they had 40,000 plus whatever ounces of gold. So one would scratch their head, bald head, and say, why are they needing a piddly 6,000 ounces of gold from HSBC when they've got 40-something thousand sitting there in the vault? So just use that. Right. But what if that number is a lie? Flat out lie. It's not there. Well, then you'd have to borrow some more gold. It is so interesting because as of today, let me get on my email real quick. I got a little update from Bix Weir via email if you subscribe to him, his stuff, where he's talking about CFTC warehouse investigation. Now, this is from Reuters. CFTC subpoenas metals warehousing firm as inquiry heats up. The source, who asked for anonymity and for the name of the firm not to be disclosed, as he is not authorized to speak to the media, said the CFTC's enforcement division has asked the firm that has received the subpoena to send by August 23rd every document, communication, voice recording, correspondence, and external and internal emails related to the London Metals Exchange since January 2010. This particular subpoena included more than 30 areas of interest to the CFTC, the source said, and was particularly focused on anything that relates to moving metal from one warehouse to another within the same company and procedures for loading out, adding it also wanted details of any trading based on prices on the London Metals Exchange, the CME Group's Comex Commodity Exchange, and Platts, which is a unit of McGraw-Hill that publishes price assessments of physical commodity markets. So it's interesting because we just heard about the aluminum can scandal. Big blocks of aluminum. They take it from one of their warehouses, move it to another warehouses. They kind of string this along to make the numbers look different, but really they're the same because they're just moving it back and forth. But they can somehow squeak out a fraction of a penny per pound or whatever it equals by doing this illegal activity. JP Morgan, I think Goldman Sachs was the other one, if I recall. And it was funny because someone from Florida filed a lawsuit against JP Morgan, and I think Goldman Sachs with it, claiming, I am a drinker of beverages in aluminum cans, therefore the price this person pays for a drink could be affected by the manipulation, therefore he has a valid class action lawsuit. A drinker of soda, 60 cents please. You qualify to be on a class action lawsuit because you're drinking out of an aluminum can. I love it. Aside from that, now that I got that out of the way, this is news. We have JP Morgan shutting down its entire commodity division except warehousing gold and silver. All the other ones, we're going to get away from that. Really? Well, the CFTC now probing, right? They just issued the day that fire happened in the commercial vault in New York City, which used to be JP Morgan. That's not anymore. Don't look over there. It's nothing. I'm sure it was just a little fire in a vault. As if fires in vaults are common, especially in the financial district of New York, as if it's not the most expensive, most powerful vault you ever saw, waterproof, fireproof, you name it. But there was a little fire in there. No one says what was lost or what happened, just that it used to be JP Morgan's, not JP Morgan's across the street. Right. So that happened. As I did the video explaining that, I said, oh, this is interesting because the CFTC had already sent out notices to companies with commercial vaults, storage of metals and whatnot for the Comex. Notice of intent, whatever. Don't, I'm going off my memory here. Don't dispose of, get rid of, delete, throw away any data pertaining to exactly what I just read you, warehousing type stuff, in more detail than this. You're on notice. But the next day, maybe while the mail was still going, the mailman may not have reached them in time for this vault fire to happen. Oops. And again, even if you got the letter in your hand, it's an act of God. It's nature. It's a fire. We didn't know. So we have all this happening while J.P. Morgan, which has a Comex vault, one of the Comex vaults where they store this metals, gold and silver, this one in particular gold, and it's dangerously low over and over and over. And now they had to borrow again a week ago from the HSBC vault. The exact amount left HSBC went directly into JP Morgan, and it was only approximately 6,000 ounces of gold. If they have to borrow that, that's like borrowing pennies from your friend. I mean, they must be flat out broke. They must be flat out empty. Okay, even though the numbers don't say that. So I got something else for you. Again, same thing. This is newer. Now we have a little game of I like to call musical chairs, and this chart is courtesy of Zero Hedge. Appreciate that, Zero Hedge. HSBC actually had to borrow from the Scotia Vault, the blue one. And then after they got that, 43,000 ounces, not 6,000 ounces like last week, but 43,000 ounces of gold left the HSBC Vault after borrowing 23,000 ounces of that, or half, from the Scotia Vault, to now go to the JP Morgan vault, and then promptly is gone, as you can see from the red block there. Yet, on the left side where it says previous total, 136,000 ounces of gold. I wonder how long they're allowed to keep the previous stat there. Like how previous is that? In other words, is the soon-to-be previous one fixing to say like 0? And that's why we're seeing all the musical chairs going on right now. And I have to tell you, I don't think I haven't been doing this like for 15 years, okay? But I have been studying this stuff for many, many years. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. There's no thinking about it. I have never seen anything like this. And yet you still, what's the price of silver? Oh, it's still in the 20s. It goes up, back down. Oh, it's vertical, up, back, stop, back down. They're still setting the price with paper. Okay, it's a piece of paper, leveraged at least 100, probably 200 or more to 1 of the real thing. Let me explain that, because I've been a while since I've talked about that, in case I got some new subscribers who don't know what I'm talking about. But on the Comex, when you have a futures contract, it is a paper contract that is leveraged 10 to 1 usually. I had a mini contract back in 2008, and I got burned on it. That's what started my wake-up process, by the way, at least on the silver and financial side. And I had a mini contract. A full-size contract is 5,000 ounces. A mini contract is 1,000 ounces. But you're allowed to play the game for 1/10 or 10% of that, what that would cost if you had to buy the silver. So for, let's just say this, for easy math, $10 an ounce silver, 1,000 ounces, right? You could go out and buy 1,000 ounces at $10 an ounce for $10,000. Wouldn't that be nice right now? Okay, but if you're playing a futures contract, you don't have to waste your time placing an order, waiting for it to ship. You had to come up with $10,000. Who wants to do that? When all you got to do is come up with 10%. Give us $1,000 plus another 300 or 400 for maintenance fee, which is in case the price rises or goes down too much. They don't get you with the margin call. That way your account can go a little bit negative. If the price goes down, it'll go negative without them giving you a margin call saying, hey, put more money in the account. So I can play as if I had 1,000 ounces for 100 ounces worth of money, or 10%. This sounds fantastic. So I got in there. I did it. And it was $20 and some change. This is 2008. And then instantly, it went straight down. And I mean straight down. Not even a little, or like a few contracts are purchased. No, straight down. $17 silver. All the money in my account was gone. Have a nice day. See ya. I got nothing but a margin call. Not only is your account empty, but you owe us a few $100s. Oh. So all the profit I had made, because I thought, oh, it's America, free markets, I can do this. Anyone can do this. And I had the little fake test program that lets you pretend like you got real money. So I'm watching the charts, I'm watching the daily activity, and hey, I can do this. Matter of fact, I can set it and forget it. I bought it over here. If it goes down too low at this level, I have an automatic stop position. It's going to sell automatically. If it goes up to this position, I can also trigger it to sell, which I did. So if it goes up 20 cents, sell. If it goes down 10 cents, sell. Because 10 cents represents $100 of real money. So if it goes up 20 cents, I made 200 bucks. And I'm looking at the chart saying, man, it's moving like that all the time. So if I could just average $100 a day of profit on top of my normal paycheck, I can go in here before I even leave my house, set it and forget it and go to work. Plus I had a computer at work I could look at the chart and stuff. But long story short, none of that mattered. The rug got pulled out from under me. So back to explaining how they leverage these things. Even though it's a futures contract and it's a piece of paper that says, oh yeah, like for me, you had 1,000, there's 1,000 ounces somewhere in this vault, somewhere in somewhere land, you know, fantasy land. It's there. And if someone else comes in and buys 100 or one of these futures contract, there's another 1,000 ounces or full-size contracts, 5,000 ounces. The problem is they're issuing contract after contract, futures contract, all over the place. 100 times, 150, 200 of these contracts, and this isn't speculation. But there's only one thing of real physical silver backing it, when there should be one backing all of them. If there's 200 contracts, there should be 200 5,000 ounce deals backing each of them, but there's not. Because nobody, very few, ever demand delivery, which means come up with the rest of the money, buy the full account out, then they'll deliver the silver to your house, so to speak. And they only see 1%, 2%, some low percentage of whoever plays the game actually ever do that. So if you're a banker, you know, the banking elite say, well, if only a few people ever demand delivery, it apparently means that they just want to play the paper game. And that also means the elite get to control it, which is the other part of the equation. So if we have 100 to 1 or 200 to 1 pieces of paper to one real asset, even 1% or 2% of the people demanding delivery on the gold and silver is causing a major beating. And if it took 15 to 20 years or however long to get to this point where we are at today, I can't even imagine how many paper contracts are really out there when they can't even handle the tiny little minuscule 1 or 2% or whatever it end up being of people who are actually demanding delivery. Because that's where that gold and silver is going. Now, I also read something today in which, matter of fact, I think it was on Silver Doctors, where they are saying, gold trader, GLD gold. Now, GLD and SLV is paper, gold, and silver investments. Like you got a 401k, you can't go tell your 401k company, hey, go buy me a gold bar or put my money into physical silver. No. They go put it in the SLV or the GLD. And if you read the prospectus, which is the terms and conditions of that entity, the GLD and the SLV, I did a video a long time ago, like 2+ years ago easily, on the prospectus of the SLV, and it is terrifying. It is disturbing. They can close it down for any reason, for anything they feel like, and you will never ever get any silver and gold. That's not what it's about. It was only about them telling you they're buying it and we got it stored in a warehouse somewhere. And for each contract, each share we issue, each share equates to 1 ounce of silver for the SLV. And we've got it. Trust us. But you'll never ever see it. You will never know if we've got it or not. Now, it doesn't say it in those words. But that's the rules. You can never request, hey, I want my silver. No, you only get the paper price of whatever silver's at today back for your share. So what is happening here, let me read this to you. This trader, this gold trader, says the GLD gold, which there is some gold there that backs those shares. And GLD, if I recall, the custodian, I think, is HSBC. And the SLV, which is silver, is JP Morgan, I believe. So it's interesting when I see HSBC giving some gold to old JP Morgan, and then the Scotia vaults giving it back to HSBC, and then so we have two of the entities, HSBC and JP Morgan, who both handle the SLV and GLD, running out of gold, specifically JP Morgan. So this gold trader is saying that the GLD gold is being shipped directly to Asia. They are demanding delivery. And they don't have it. The Comex does not have it. But since HSBC is a Comex vault, and JP Morgan is also a Comex vault, and they both are GLD and SLV vaults, they're just taking it out of the GLD vault. Nobody knows the wiser. No one will ever look. They can't look. They can't force us to look. All we have to do is have an audit periodically that says it's here. And if you probably hire your friend's company to do the audit, he'll always say it's there, if you get my drift. He says, I had the chance to reconnect with a source in the bullion management business whose operations deal on a direct basis with the shipping desks at the GLD. While remaining unnamed at this time, it was a powerful conversation, and he was quite liberal in sharing thought. Speaking to what his group is hearing from the main GLD custodian, he noted that, quote, GLD is collapsing in terms of the number of share issuance and is being redeemed. We are hearing from my end, and that the GLD main custodian has been collapsing it and redeeming it, and that gold is just being shipped via their shipping desk directly to Asia. He further added, quote, it is quite clearly a major establishment using their shipping desk to ship gold bullion and potentially having it re-smelted down in Singapore, Hong Kong, etc. The gold is moving. When I hear this, like I said the other day, it cannot be much longer. It can't go on for too much longer. And to think, remember Germany? Remember that one? Germany wants their gold back from the Federal Reserve, and London. And they were told, we'll see you in 7 years. You'll get your gold back in 7. We got it. Trust me, we got it. We just can't give it to you right now. We just can't give it to you right now. Just give us about 7 years. So Hugo Chavez, old Hugo Chavez, was the first one to get his gold back from the Vipers. And he paraded it around when they got it. Armored vehicles, had a big press conference holding this huge bar. It was great. And the damage that is doing to the banking elite is severe. And now their whole thing in Egypt, they put in their Muslim Brotherhood guy, Morsi. He's been overthrown by the people. We had the whole Benghazi thing in Libya. That's now a big problem. Latest I've heard is that there was like 200 or 300 United States missiles that were going to be shipped to, more than likely, the Muslim Brotherhood to overthrow other countries. And that got stolen. And they need it back because they don't want them to be used against someone else, commercial airliner or anything else. I'm not going to say that I know that to be 100% true, but that's what I'm hearing right now. So you see the elitists are starting to lose control. And what happens when they used to control every aspect of the world? Finance, oil, who the dictator of a country is, who's the new leader is going to be, price of gold, price of oil, price of everything. And now all that stuff, all their mechanisms to control that are starting to fail. This is recipe for disaster. Not just the collapse that's coming, but disastrous because they've lost control. So, all I know is this can't last much longer. Very interesting times ahead. I mean, I thought 2011 was pretty interesting in terms of things that were going on. And then 2012 came around. Oh my God. 2012, the Mayan calendar, that had to be it. It was filled with stuff happening that year. And now we're in 2013, and oh my God, 2013 is the new champion. So, it is just getting better and better. There's more happening, bigger things happening, faster, faster, faster. And it's like one scandal. I mean, think of Fast and Furious scandal, Eric Cordell, that's gone. All these things that have happened, just gone. Something new and more important just happened. Oh my God, something new and more important just happened. And then, I mean, if you were like in Congress and actually were able to get something done and go after these guys, you know, go after Eric Holder, go after these guys and actually get on it, you know, lickety split. They'd be overwhelmed right now because there's a new scandal. There's something new breaking almost every day now. Once a week, something new. So, man, it's going to be interesting times, but there's no doubt it's going to suck. What's coming is going to suck. But it's going to suck a lot less for those of you who stood by while your stomach was turning in knots because you bought silver at 40 or 30 or 20 and it hasn't moved. And, oh my God, I really wonder, is silver and gold really going to go up? Is it really going to happen? It's been 2 years since it was real high, and maybe the mainstream media is right. Maybe those talking heads were right after all. Did I show you this chart? Did I show you this chart a minute ago? When that thought comes into your head, I wonder if I should sell it. I wonder if I should think of that chart. This has not happened before. So, not only is it happening, but it just happened a week ago, and now it's worse a week later. And the deliveries are like compounding. So, I'm going to say it, you are a fool if you are not going to hold on to your gold and silver, or you think that it's just going to crash down and that's when you'll go get some. It could, but I would not bank on that or wait on that to happen. All I do when that happens is treat it as an additional buying opportunity. That's it. Keep buying, keep stacking. Oh, they smashed the price pretty heavy duty over the last month. Buy some more. That's it. Take care.